Okay, you guys, I want to share a story with you that if it's not viral now, it will be really soon. And this is out of Brick City. For those of you that don't know, Newark, New Jersey. I know a lot of people from around that way. So, the young lady who is sharing this story on her Facebook page, she goes by the name Tierra Christy. I was with this nigga for 5 years, and he's been around my daughter since she was 5 years old. I can't believe that he would all of a sudden take a sexual interest in my daughter. It disgusts me that she came to me crying about how he doesn't talk to her like she's a kid anymore. He's been trying to get her to be an adult and do sexual things with him because she's getting older now. This type of betrayal from him, I will never understand or forgive. And the disgusting ass family that stands behind him and calls my child a liar can all go to hell with him. Y'all can get y'all hands and feet about my daughter. At the end of the day, he violated a little girl who literally just turned 10 years old last month in February. She trusted him and loved him. I will never understand how anybody can be a mother and not believe their child. I believe my baby no matter what. I don't give a fuck how nobody feels. You really can't trust nobody around your kids. It's sad and scary as fuck. Like, who thinks to talk to a child they claim to love like this? I'm disgusted. And that's what she written. He actually posted some things too as well. But before I get into what Jahlil Allen said, that is the ex-boyfriend's name, and it's fucked up because I always liked the name Jahlil. I always did. I always did. And it's fucked up that he's engaged in something like this. It really is. So I'm going to share the screenshots that Tierra was talking about, okay? Now this is him. He starts off the text messages, okay? You want me to lay in there with you? Or are you fine? The 10-year-old says, I'm fine. He says, okay. I'm bored. I hate when mommy go to work and be having nothing to do at all. What you doing? And that's what he says. He says again, I'm bored. I hate when mommy go to work. I don't be having nothing to do at all. What you doing? So she says, watching TikTok, looking for things to do. He says, like fun stuff, question mark. She says, yeah. He says, did you ever get head before? She says, why? He says, just asking. She says, no, and I don't want to because that will make me feel uncomfortable, and I'm only 10 years old. I'm not fully an adult yet, so no. And then he responds, I'm not going to make you feel uncomfortable. You're going to be doing it soon. But okay, I'll leave you alone. Just let mommy know you be watching nasty stuff. She says, but I don't watch that stuff anymore. I don't like that stuff. It's nasty and I just want to chill. I don't want to do stuff like that. It makes me feel weird and uncomfortable. He says, we only got one life to live. And he says the little girl's name. Just try it. If you don't like it, I will leave you alone. Deal? She says, no, I don't want to. Please stop asking me. Just ask mommy. She's adult. She's an adult. You can ask mommy when she come back, but not me. That's not appropriate. You're actually making me scared. He responds, you don't have to be scared of me. He says her name. I won't do anything to you without your permission. You said leave you alone. I will leave you alone. Just delete these messages. She says, okay. And then he responds, sorry for bothering you about her. Then he says, just watch porn. Now that's what he says. And boy, oh boy, like I said, these messages from him is already disgusting. Yes, it is. It's what you call grooming, people. What we see is grooming through text messages. That's what we see. You know, decades ago, there weren't text messages. There was just a person in a child's face. And the reason why I say person, because women groom too. But in this story right here, we're talking about a guy. That's what we're talking about. So he was grooming her Probably through text messages because he probably felt more comfortable with that. That's what I'm believing. And they were in the same house because a lot of people are saying they believe that the mother, Tierra, was texting this. She was at work. So how is she texting this when a little girl is obviously in the home with her? Why are you trusting this man around your daughter? This man has been around your daughter for 5 years. She's hurt by this. She doesn't understand how, he has watched her grow. And now he is trying to do some sexual things with her. She is not understanding. She's hurt by this. I can tell through these text messages that she's hurt by him. She loved him, and now look at what's happening. And before I get into how I feel about this woman, and I'm going to say how I feel, I'm going to say what a lot of other people are saying, that she had to write this, even though she was clearly at work, because a 10-year-old does not write like that. And why are they texting each other so much? Well, that's how the younger generation, that's how they communicate now. This is what they do. They text all the time. I'm not a real big texter. It takes too long to get out what you can say. In less than 2 minutes, you spend 2 hours in a text, right? So no, if you have something to tell me, you just tell me. But they're thinking that she sounds too grown in these text messages. She's not misspelling words. She's sounding grown. She's 10. She's 10, okay? I don't understand how grown she's sounding in a text message. She's 10. They're saying, how does she know about head? Well, looking back many moons ago when I was 10, I don't think we were calling that, and it wasn't really all about the woman back then. But yeah, I heard a lot about BJs. That's what we called it back then, right? The blowjobs, right? BJs. And no, I wasn't doing that kind of crap at 10 years old, but I heard a lot about it. I would see the graffiti on the bathroom walls. Yeah, I heard a lot about it. It wasn't nothing too risque like the music. No. And I grew up on rap and hip hop, which is very different now. Very, very different. When I was 10, they weren't talking like this in rap and hip hop at all. They were not. I'm very old school. They were not talking like this. The women, then when I got a little bit older, I'm going to say when I was like in my early to mid teens, that's when like Foxy was out and Little Kim. And then it got a little bit more raunchier, but I was in my moments then, I was what I would consider grown, but I wasn't 10. The rap music now, they don't even suggest anything. They're just basically telling you what they're gonna do or what they just did. You know what I mean? And even the TikTok videos, the women on there are half naked. Why even wear clothes? They would dance naked if they could, because they damn near are. So everything it's not even suggested anymore. It's just there. They don't even hint anymore. It's just there, over sexualized. That's what it is. And these young girls and these young boys, that they're watching this. Let me reiterate right quick. Okay, they was also discussing the porn, saying why is this, young girl watching porn or whatever. It may have been a situation where, she was caught watching it or it was on her phone and they had a discussion about it and he's bringing it up. He's bringing it up. And the little girl said she doesn't watch that nasty stuff anymore. And I just want to say, back in my day, here I go again, but back in my day, there wasn't access like it is now. Like you have everything literally in your pocket at a very young age. No, but I do remember, we would find the dirty magazines. We called them dirty magazines. It was Playboy or Penthouse or whatever, but we would find them and we would look through them. They were either at my grandfather's house or, one of my uncle's houses, but we would find them. And us as kids, me and my cousins, me and my younger brother, we would look at it. We would just look at it. I mean, that's all we did was look at it. It was there and we looked at it. We knew we weren't supposed to be looking at it. We were snooping, we were hiding, but it was there, okay? That's what we had back then. So unfortunately, right now, what the children have is a lot more access to it. And I'm pretty sure if I was a 10, 11-year-old little girl now and I had a phone like that, yeah, I'd probably be watching some shit too. I'm not going to even front. I probably would, because it was out of curiosity. So I probably would. But right now, these children have a lot more access to things than we had growing up. And it is not a good thing, by the way. They damn near are. So everything is, it's not even suggested anymore. It's just there. They don't even hint anymore. It's just there, you know, over sexualized. That's what it is. And these young girls and these young boys, they're watching this. They're watching this. And off the subject slightly, I just did a video about what was his name? Terry Burgess Smith. That was his name. And he was from New York and went to live in Florida shortly afterwards. But he was 12 when he was raping women. He was finding them on the street, and he started to film it because he would watch a popular site where they were doing this. And he wanted to do this, RAPE women, and post it online. And he live streamed. He live streamed this. I kid you not, I just did this story, and he was 12. He was 12 years old. So everything is over sexualized. These kids, it's a lot going on. It's sad. I'm so happy that I don't have any children growing up right now in this age. I have a child, but not in this age. Like a young child, I'd be scared to death. I really would. I'd be scared to death. So I don't think she sounds grown in these text messages. And they said, and as for her not misspelling words, okay, there is autocorrect on these texts, right? There is autocorrect on the phones, but maybe she knows how to spell. Maybe she's a smart girl. Not every 10-year-old is a dumbass. Maybe she's a smart girl. And I don't see anything that she was like appropriate. She said that's not appropriate. I guess that word was, too big for a lot of the women that were reading these texts, saying that this little girl, is too grown. And again, slightly off the subject, a lot of us, we're following the Jarvis Butts, Naziah Harris case. And there's people that were saying Naziah was grown in these text messages. And yeah, she was very over-sexualized because that's what he wanted. That's what Jarvis wanted from her. She couldn't give him nothing else. She doesn't have a house of her own and a car of her own. He had all the other women he was using for that. He wanted one thing from her, and that was her youth. That's all he wanted, her youth. That's it. And he destroyed it in the end, But they were saying she was very grown, sounding very grown in these text messages. She, to me, was talking about a lot of sex, and I guess that means you're grown because you talk a lot of sex. No, he groomed her. He'd been doing this for a minute, and after she told somebody who told authorities that Jarvis had touched her inappropriately, nothing became of it. And let me reiterate really quick. So this is a small clip of Naziah when she was about 11. This is the time that the alleged assault happened. I played this clip because she looks like an ironing board. She's the size of an ironing board, but that's not what they want. They want the youth. They could care less. They just want the youth. Time to do it. I don't know. I don't know what he's been watching, but he's been thinking about this for a while. And I would be scared. I would be scared if you are family members of this man and you have young children. I would be scared. Should I be scared of any man at this point, around my children? If I had, young little girls and little boys, I'd be scared of any damn body. But it's the so-called women that were making comments, and I really hope that they are not mothers, because whoa, if they're mothers, I see you guys are really like Shannon. I'm going to use that for, a conversation piece, because that's what everybody seems to know right now. You mothers will let men do things and pretend that you don't know, or blame her. Blame her, that this little girl, she's hot. Look how she's texting him. Why does she even know about head? Look how she's texting him. Come on now. Come on. You women are the ones that would condone something like this or act like you don't know what's going on because he provides, Jahlil's a tattoo artist, and I guess, based on the fact that he might give you some free tats, is all the more reason to let him violate your children. Yeah, you women that I see in these comments are sick. Normally I pinpoint certain people, but I'm not. It's too many of them. That's the scary part. It's too many of them condoning this, calling this child a liar. Now on Jahlil's page, okay? On Jahlil's page, he says a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, it's the aftermath after all this. At first he wants to come in and talk. She's telling him to go away. Obviously he has some sisters. His sister done said something that was out of pocket. Tierra, she didn't like it. And I can understand it was something involving a BJ, So, yeah, and the messages are coming up right now. They were too much and too long. So if you want to actually see them, they're probably up right now, but I think eventually they'll disappear. You could easily just slow your phone down and read them. It was just too much. But basically, again, it's the aftermath of what happened, with these two people, and the little girl. And even though her face is all out there, I just decided to blur her face out. I just didn't feel comfortable putting her face out there. But the kicker is she looks exactly like her mom. Exactly. Just in a little girl version. So, I'm hoping that Jahlil didn't do anything to anybody else's children. And I'm hoping this was his first time trying and he failed miserably. And the thing that I do like is she called the cops, or she alluded that she called the cops in the text messages. And I hope that's true because they're going to do an investigation on this and they're going to figure out, and she needs to stay away from him. And I'm hopefully she'll do that. Now, how I feel about the situation is she's being a mother. I don't commend her. I don't applaud her. She's being a freaking mother. I probably would have gotten violent with the person, to be honest with you. I probably would have. But she handled it the way she handled it, and good for her. And I hope she did call the police, and I hope that she stays on the police about this. Because, it's nasty. Yeah, he can actually become a sex offender. He can actually put on the sex offenders list for these text messages alone. If he's never touched her, he can still be put on a sex offenders list. He can. And maybe this will teach him to not do that, but he can't be around kids. So hopefully, I hope she sees this through, because Lord knows what would have happened. Lord knows we would have been saying, justice for this little girl, right? About another 2-3 years from now, we've been saying that. And right before this story, I just did a whole bunch of other stories about 40-year-old men, between 40 and 43-year-old men getting these 10-year-olds pregnant. And this is all recently. There was this one man that got, I think she was 9, 12, and 13. He got 2 of the 3 sisters pregnant. And this is all recently. But right now, it's Naziah Harris's story that's in the light, which is good, but it's so many other Jarvis butts out there. And this one right here, Jahlil was heading in that direction. I don't care. He tries to rebuttal on his page by saying he didn't text that. Who had his phone? Men, they hold their phone like it's, stacks of cash. Who had his phone? Who texted this? He said he didn't do it. Who had it? He had his phone. And the little girl didn't delete them, or the mother found them. I don't know how that part went about. But he was outed. He said he has to clear his name. Yeah, how? How? I'm pretty sure, Jahlil, you know, after this all blows over, there's people out there that'll still fuck with you. I'm pretty sure. But lay off the kids. If you feel you got a problem, get help. Lay off the kids. This shit is nasty. It really is. These kids should not be around these grimy dudes. They shouldn't. And again, we have grimy ass women like that too. But right now we're focusing on the men right now. So yeah, it's very horrible. So I'm glad, she did what she did. Not only did she call the police, but she outed him. So everybody knows who he is and what he's about.